What's up, y'all? This is Jordan with Be Ready Self-Defense, and today we're going to talk about a learning principle that a lot of martial artists have either forgotten about, overlooked, or even frowned upon sometimes. Now, before we move on, if you like what you see in today's video, please go ahead and subscribe, like, share with your friends. I would really appreciate the support. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, Jordan, well, what is this magic learning principle? Well, simply put, it's playing. The learning method of play, discovering, exploring. So much of what we do in martial arts is very structured and rigid. Keep the other hand up that isn't striking and always snap it right back to your face. Keep your hands up. You shouldn't have your hands down when you're defending. When I throw a round kick, I should always turn out the heel that's pivoting and have it pointing to my target. These are the rules that are drilled into our head every single day when we go to train. And all of these things are right. These are correct. You should absolutely follow all of those rules or principles as much as you can, until it doesn't matter. Now, before you freak out, don't get me wrong. If you are a beginner, you absolutely need to follow all of those rules and principles down to a T. Do whatever your instructor tells you to do. However, if you are getting or becoming more intermediate or advanced, you absolutely need to learn how to play, how to discover and explore and learn things on your own. Unfortunately, there are some toxic people in the martial art community that stop a lot of this from happening. People are afraid to post new things or something they're just trying out or their progression and fear that some douchebag is gonna blow up their comment section. And you know who you are if you are the person that does that. Screw you. Yeah, I get it. That sucks. But guess what? Those people, okay? They must be the most boring, unoriginal partners ever. You wouldn't want to be their partner anyway. Or they think that their style is the best and they never try out anything new ever because they are insecure. So why do we need to play? Why do we need to discover and explore in our training? Why is this important? Well, young Padawan or perhaps Jedi Master that needs to learn this lesson, sit down with me and let's talk about that. In my experience, playing around with something that you might not necessarily always know how to do is one of the best ways to learn because one, it's more fun, and two, it sticks in your brain better, right? It allows you to open up new channels and new ways of thinking that perhaps weren't there before. Yeah, it's really great to, learn something new from your instructor, and that's cool and everything, but there's something very satisfying about making a discovery on your own. Even if it's already been discovered by someone else, it hasn't been discovered by you yet. And doing that by yourself is a very rewarding experience. But wait, Jordan, shouldn't we only learn from experts in that field? Well, yeah, but how do you think they became an expert themselves? Why do we think the only way you can learn something new is from someone else? Sure, being told what to do by an instructor is great, and that's how we do a lot of our learning. But that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to play around. It doesn't mean that you're not allowed to discover things for yourself and post about them. Share them with your other martial art buddies and with the community. So, for example, for this video, I've either been playing some clips or I'm gonna throw in some clips right now and going forward of me and my one friend just messing around with some techniques we didn't really know if we knew how to do. But the one day him and I were training and we're like, we actually haven't messed around with a lot of knife on the ground. And then, hey, let's just throw in drawing our own handgun while we're at it and seeing how that works. Yeah, no idea what we were doing. But we were able to use a lot of our prior experience with doing knife from stand-up or our jiu-jitsu experience and kind of just fumbled our way through it and discovered things along the way. There's a crap ton of stuff that looks kind of dumb that maybe you're gonna see in this video. But there's a lot of cool stuff that we figured out. At one point, I don't know if I played it, but maybe I'll play it again. I was able to get him into a position where I was able to sweep him as the knife attacker and get into a more advantageous position and finish him with, I think it was either strikes or some sort of submission. I have never been taught that technique and that specific knife scenario by anyone, ever. I just figured it out. I used previous experience with knife defense and previous experience with jiu-jitsu, and it just sort of came to me in that moment. And I was like, oh, that was cool. That actually worked. There were times where things didn't work very well. There was one time where I was in guard and my training gun fell out of my waistline, and I just had to kind of figure it out. And yeah, it was kind of sloppy and crappy, and I'm not super great with that stuff. I can conceal carry, but I haven't trained a lot drawing under pressure. But I figured out a lot of things that aren't good to do. And that can be just as valuable as learning what to do. And guess what? Now I'm posting it on YouTube for the whole entire world to see my stupid mistakes that I made with training with a knife and a handgun on the ground. But guess what? I don't care. I learned way more doing that with my training partner than you ever will if you don't try it at all and throw yourself out there. Am I gonna keep seeking expert advice on that? Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Aaron Giannetti, who just released a ground module for knife control concepts that I would love to go through soon. Eventually, I'll probably go to a Craig Douglas seminar and learn about kind of more close quarter combat with carrying a concealed weapon and when to draw and all that good stuff. But I don't have to wait for that to happen. I can use my experience and start to figure out at least a little bit on my own. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to post about them and ask for feedback or advice from other people. I promise you, you will just blow open your martial art brain if you start incorporating a little bit of play, a little bit of exploration into your training. Anyway, that's everything for today. If you like this video, again, please feel free to subscribe or blow up my comment section with how terrible I am at martial arts. This is Jordan with Be Ready Self-Defense. Train perfectly, fight ferociously, and be ready.